Hello, today we're going to be ranking every single Star Rail character ultimate from 1.0 to 1.6. And I know there's some 2.0 and 2.1 characters on this list, but I'm not going to rank them. That's just how the tier maker works. So, since Penacony just came out, 2.0 just came out as of the recording of this video, I figured it'd be nice to do a throwback Thursday, on all the previous characters that we just got. Unless you're not watching this on Thursday, then I'm sorry. Happy whatever day it is for you today. It's not Thursday for me either, but it can be Thursday any day you want, technically. So yeah, I've been playing the game since day one, so I'm pretty familiar with a lot of these ultimates, but I've never really got the chance to sit down and really rank them, see which ones are the best, which ones are the best, which ones are the worst. You never really know since you see them so often. You never really think about it that much. Starting off with physical Kalis. Obviously our male MC. Galactic Baseballer. Alright, with the impact frames and everything. So let's do a bit of a rewind here. And I know it's a bit cropped, but that's just how it is. Okay, don't mind it. So we're starting with physical Kalis. What I am going to be looking for, I'm not going to be ranking based on objectively how good it is, how good the animation is, how good the posing is. It's literally just based on how much I like it, which could be a combination of that and also just aesthetic wise what I like. I like that. That's a great pose. I think both main characters have a great pose after they pull out the bat. Oh, obviously the actual pulling out is fine too. He fucking materializes it, and that arc is great. And he spins it and puts it on his shoulder. Great. And then over here, got that nice impact. But I prefer the AOE attack because it just looks cool. You got the cross, right? The delayed attack cross, and then it just impact frames and boom. It's amazing. So where are we going to rank our physical MC here? I'd say it's pretty good. Well, pretty good. Now I don't see Fire MC anywhere on this list. No, I do actually. I do. It's Stell. Yeah, so I think he goes into well pretty good, right? It's above average. I like it, and yeah. Now this one's Fire MC for the male for Kalis. He sort of drives his lance forward like that. Let's have a look again. Just does a thrust. He comes in. Boom. Really long line of action here. But it's just a big old thrust. That's nice. So on this list, they separated physical and fire MC based on Stell and Kalis. We don't have fire Kalis or physical Stell on this list. So I'm gonna treat them as that. It also goes here. But I feel like physical is just beats out the fire one a bit more. And I'll explain why, because I am combining Kalis and Stealth together. And as a whole, physical just looks way cooler than fire. So let's take a look at physical Stealth.
Rules are made to be broken.
This is the reason why Fire MC doesn't beat out physical. I am absolutely in love with this ultimate. I prefer this version over the Kalis version. And I know some people prefer the Kalis version because it has a stronger like look to it. It's like he pulls it out and he has this like standoffish look. We see him from behind and he has like he puts it on his shoulders and everything. It's like a more aggressive look. This one, he doesn't summon it in the same way like this. He doesn't summon it like this, which is a way more aggressive way to summon it.
Rules are made to be broken.
She whips it out. She doesn't sort of, she looks so neutral about this. She's like, I'm about to exterminate a pest here. I I am not taking this so seriously, right? There's not too much ferocity behind my move, but I am taking this out and I am chilling. Okay. Both in the sense of chilling, like I am relaxed, but also chilling as in that's really scary. And the way she brandishes that by spinning it around and just resting it by her side like this. It's just a come if you dare sort of thing. With with Kalis, it's a come if you dare, but it's a lot more standoffish. Stell just here whips out the bat, brandishes it around a little bit, swings it around a little bit, and just puts it to the side. And then we got this cool shot of her just staring off into the distance towards the enemies as she's holding this big lightsaber rod of death. And then the actual attack comes in, and it's pretty much the same as Kalis.
You don't think you're welcome.
Okay, so that's why I think physical for both MCs just beats out fire. And let's take a look at Stell's fire anyway.
Flaming lance. Forward.
She doesn't do a thrust. Or at least she does it initially, but instead of thrusting it at the end, she sort of just slams it down, and a pillar of fire just goes up like that. I prefer this over the thrust. I don't know why. I think it's cooler for me personally. It's cooler for me for someone to just do a just zips past and then sticks the sword into the ground and a giant flame just spills out rather than okay, big flaming lance and then you go for a thrust. And then it's just a big old thrust and a giant laser beam of fire. It's just I just prefer the aesthetics and just the way it's done like this way more. I feel like it also is a lot more intuitive where the flame goes up like that, does it? Let me double check, but I'm not talking out of my ass. Yeah, the thing just sort of comes up. Comes up or comes down? Go down. Okay, it's this big ball of flame and then it explodes upwards. Right? And that feels a lot better when you're sticking it into the ground. And then you push the sword down and the flame goes up. That makes sense. For Kalis, it's thrust forwards towards the screen diagonally here, and then the flames explode and go up. It doesn't feel as good. This is a long-winded explanation for me to justify my love for Stell over Kalis. All right, let's move on to March.
Like sometimes. Check out this awesome move.
So she fires off a bunch of tiny little frozen pom-poms. She creates the arrow or summons it, whips it out. Okay, I feel like the impact isn't really there that much because this is a nice build-up. This nice draw time here. The arrow is right in our face. You can feel the power coming in, and then the shot fires, but it breaks up. It breaks up. It doesn't even it doesn't accelerate. It doesn't do anything. It breaks up into little harmless. Okay, I wouldn't say they're harmless. They still do damage, but they look harmless. They look cute. And then they just fall to the ground like hailstorms. But it doesn't look that strong. The hailstorm is rather slow. They're falling quite slow. They're not exactly falling at the speed of light or anything. So the impact isn't there that much. The build-up was really nice, but the impact wasn't quite there. And even though I love March, unfortunately, she's going to go into is okay. It's not bad. I like it, but it's okay. Now let's move on to Danhang.
Life and death, revealed in an instant. This
We go into his shadow realm. I like it. I feel like it could feel more punchy, or rather stabby.
life and death,
Again, it's that
revealed
impact
in
thing.
an instant.
So we go into his thing, right? Cool, we got a setup, new scenery, opens his eyes, comes in, Okay, we got a nice. We see his face here coming in. What's he gonna do? Kiss us, huh? There's a lance coming in, spear coming in, and right as it crosses the screen, boom, comes in, foreshortening the sword and the blade and everything. Well, the thing explodes. It's like an anime scene, right, where they clash swords and the guy just comes off on the other side. It's cool, but in one time speed, it doesn't feel as impactful. In two times speed, it feels faster. I mean, because it is faster. I don't know. I feel like it could have more impact. I don't know how. Again, I'm not an expert on this. I'm not trying to be objective here. I'm just saying this what it feels like to me. It's good, but I don't feel the punch too much. So what we're gonna do with Dan Heng is we're also going to put him here. Now the question is, who is higher, March or Dan Heng? Okay, you know, I'm gonna say March is cuter, so I'm just gonna put her there. All right, now we're going for Imbibe or Lunai. Looks like this video isn't going in order of release, but sure. He summons a straight up dragon. He looks at us from the, gives us the bombastic side eye, just explodes in like water or something.
Delve hidden moon.
I don't know what to say other than this is just fucking awesome. Look at that. I think what sells it for me is the bombastic side eye right before the dragon just comes in. It slams right into this. The big numbers come in. This feels strong because it is really strong. I mean, Dan Heng's a meta unit for a reason. So Dan Heng and Baibaru Lunai, pretty good. Up there. The best one we've seen so far. Not quite S tier, but definitely very close to it. And we go, well,
Nothing of the weight behind this power. Witness the stars shatter before
he literally has a black hole section.
survive or be destroyed. There is no other choice.
What can I say about this one? This shot is pretty cool. Right? Any character with a cane needs to have some sort of cool effect.
The stars
It just has to be. He literally summons a black hole. He opens his hand holding the cane, summons a black hole. It swallows everything, and then slices open. And then it's revealed he did it. He came and did the thing. He pushes up glasses anime style.
there is no
The swing of the cane, and then slam on the ground, and it does the big damage at the end. It's a very nice feeling ultimate. So, well, definitely passes the is okay test. Definitely up to pretty good. But is it better than the MCs? Okay, I don't know if this is recency bias from the way we're viewing this, but I'm gonna put him slightly higher. Here, I'm gonna sandwich him in between the Trailblazers. Well, I mean, they're all Trailblazers, but you know what I mean. Now we're on to Himeko, fan favorite. He's out here drinking tea as an orbital laser strikes the Earth. Need I explain how cool that is?
Perhaps you still don't understand.
Himiko's just been a character that's just there for me. I know a lot of people really like her. As for me, I don't I don't simp after her. And so looking at her character as is, she's just there for now. I hope in Penacony they don't fuck up her character just like they did for Welt, where he was just there in the Luofu arc. But well, that's besides the point. That's besides the point here. I don't want to rant about the story. I could save that for a video. Back to her ultimate. We pan down here as she just casually rests a leg on here, picks up the teacup, watches as the laser of as the Death Star Ray just shines down from the clouds, and she's like, "Yes, that's mine."
And I'm no exception.
This is just an epic shot. Like whoever thought of this composition for the shot, the orbital laser, the Dutch angle, and she's sipping the tea, and after the explosion, the aftershock and everything, she just puts the cup down. Yes, all of the yes. So I'm gonna put this at the top so far, not quite S tier, because I'm reserving the top tier for something that really makes me go, that really fires my neurons. This one doesn't quite fire my neurons, but it does make me go, well, that's pretty good. And that is the name of the tier. Arlen.
Is that all you got?
Ooh, got an unfortunate case here. This is great build up. Um, let's go back to his initial pose, or at least the pose he does right before launching himself. This pose is amazing. I love this pose. The anticipation is really there. He goes in, right? Swings at a low angle. Hits everyone here. Doesn't feel that strong. And then we cut to him suddenly going upwards. I think it does kill the momentum a bit. I think if he was, because he swung counterclockwise, and so the sword swung this way. Hold on. So he swings to the left, so counterclockwise. And so I think it would be good if in this shot, instead of him moving upwards, we see him do a bit of a twirl from the momentum of swinging left. He does a twirl and he comes back for a second swing instead. So instead of slamming down from the ground, he goes in for a second big left swing, or some variation of the kind. If you wanted him to come from the top, you needed to have a longer animation for him, for us to see him moving from spinning to the left to jumping up in the air. So because of that loss of momentum, it does kill the impact a bit, which is unfortunate because I really like the ultimate. Unfortunately, this is the first one that makes me go, it could be better. It's good, but it does that one thing that doesn't sit right with me. March and Danhang doesn't offend me at all. They're good. It's just there could be slight improvements to the way that they do their alts, like impact and whatnot. Arlen isn't just about impact, really. It's straight up just, okay, this doesn't feel intuitive at some sections. So that explains why he's lower on the tier. Now for Asta,
Everything is ordained by the stars.
now right before we go into this, any ultimate in the game, in any game really, but in this game in particular, that doesn't actually damage the enemies, anything that just provides a buff is obviously going to feel less impactful than attacks that just nuke the entire screen. Like Himiko's orbital laser isn't gonna be as fun as watching Asta buff the entire team, or Bronya buff the entire team, or Tingyun buffing the energy of someone. It's never gonna reach that height, so you always have to keep that in mind. The point is you want to feel like you've been buffed. You don't want to feel like, oh, you're not doing damage. No, you want to feel like the damage buff, oh, not damage, no, just any sort of buff that I get feels like it is worth it.
Oh, profound secrets of the stars.
So she unlocks her staff here.
Trailblazers, your blessing.
That was good. That was a good like wind up. The anticipation is there, I like that. It twirls, right? And this is what happens when you don't overdo it, right? Like Arlen, if he swung once and that's pretty much it, and there was like an aftershock explosion or something. For Asta, she does one swing and then points it towards the direction that she was swinging in, which is great. It follows. The camera zooms out at the right time. We get to see the entire team, which is important for buffing. And we get to see all the effects. We see this giant fucking... I don't know what this is. I don't know if you can see my cursor. I don't know what this is, but it's cool. There's a Taco Bell sound, and we get impacted. And you see everyone in the turn order just starts going up. It feels good. So we're actually going to put Asta... we're actually going to put Asta at the bottom of we're pretty good. I was thinking of putting her at the top of is okay, but there's nothing about that that made me go, oh, it could have been like more impactful, or no, it could have been more. No, like that was pretty good. Sure, I mean you could obviously make it more flashy, but I think it was flashy enough, right? The blues and everything. I think it was nice. Now for her to
Love who I am.
be using this motherfucker for pure fiction.
Ever see a diamond this big? All yours.
If only the numbers here actually like were big. I don't think a lot of these characters are leveled in this video. But that's whatever. Can't really do much about that. So Herta is an example of small character, big weapon, and they absolutely executed on that.
Ever see a diamond this big?
She summons like a diamond thing. She runs, jumps up in the air, does a twirl in the air, and then does more twirls in the air because obviously the hammer is huge and has a lot of weight. So she's spun along with the weight of the hammer falling down. And then we slow down here as she's about to deliver the final blow. Boom, we see the hammer come down on the gem, cracking it. That's good. We actually get to see the impact. Gigantic thing slams down and then explodes. I feel like if there's anything that could be improved, it's the actual slamming of the gem could look more impactful. Because right now, I know it looks a bit funny, right? This giant gem comes down, you expect it to be like, or something, right? But no, it's a, and then it explodes. So if there's anything I could nitpick about, it's just the way the gem explodes. But otherwise, it's pretty good. So Herta goes all the way up here. Now I do realize that World Pretty Good is getting a bit much. If worse comes to worse, this gets a bit too bloated, I'll just put these down all the way to top of is okay. But for now, let's just leave it as this. Run May.
All in life's garden
Another buff.
will be swept away by the wind of time.
Okay.
Will be swept
She's
away
walking. She's playing some music.
by the
Probably summon something. She notices the wind.
wind of time.
And then watches as the wind blows. And everyone gets a buff. I don't know. I feel like in terms of buffing ultimates, even this is a bit lackluster. Especially for the kind of buff that she actually gives everyone, which is pretty OP. The actual ultimate feels a little bit lackluster. Because she's not really doing anything. She comes in, walking slowly, walking on water like Jesus. Comes in with the instrument, plays some nice tunes, and you're wondering what could happen. She looks up, and a gust of wind blows. It's not even like howling winds. It's not even like any kind of wind. It's a very peaceful wind. And that could be thematically fitting. Or whatever. But it's just a wind gust blowing towards allies and gives them a massive buff is could be better. But it didn't make me feel like something was wrong with it. It felt like the impact could be a bit more. And that seems to be what this tier is all about. It's good, it's just the impact could be a bit more. Now, is she at the bottom here? No, I think all things considered, she is better. And she is pretty solid. It's just let's look at Dr. Ratio himself.
Knowledge is the measure of all things.
L plus ratio.
And falsehood.
Oh, sorry, that was not an original joke, but still, this is so cool.
SAS Perkibi.
Other growl? I'm sorry, sir?
Knowledge is the measure of all
Drops a pillar,
things.
comes in, starts looking at it, calculating. It's literally the meme of like that woman like calculating in her head. It's that.
Truth.
But he's doing this as he's watching the angle fall onto the enemy. This giant pillar. And then when it falls, he comes in and closes the book. And cool guys don't look at explosions. This is good. Dr. Ratio is easily the top of We're Pretty Good, or dare I say, holy shit. I love that ultimate so much. I mean, not just because it's a meme, but it's such a cool idea. Pillar comes down, literally calculates the angle of it as it falls down, and then the conclusion of it where he walks away from the rubble and the dust and closes his book. It's just so cool. You really ratioed everyone.
What are you waiting for?
Sampo?
The customer is king. And for me to portray the king, well, you gotta make it worth my while.
Classic Sampo. Did a bit of a distraction. Does a bit of a bow.
And for
He does a knee slide.
me to portray the king, well,
Opens up. Haha, it's a bomb.
you gotta make it
Explodes in
worth my
smoke. Sneak attack. I like the pose here. I love the pose. I love his expression. He looks so smug about it. Like he just pulled it off. He pulled his plan off, which is pretty cool. I don't know how to feel about the angles though, because we start and we're on his left side, right? We're on his left side of the body, right side on our end of view.
Customer is king.
He comes in. We're still on this side,
For me to
and then we immediately cut to his right side, or we can see his left side now, which is strange because we were pretty much almost about 90 degrees away, like of rotation away. It just feels weird to cut like that.
portray the king well.
Right after this explodes, when we come here, we're still seeing the side of him. So it's just a bit strange that we start his bow from this side. Why don't we start the bow from the other side? So we can follow as he slides here, but flipped. And when he opens the case, we don't need to flip the camera around to the other side. We can instead sort of just pan it over or something, right? So I feel like I like the ultimate, but weird angle choice. So unfortunately, he shares the same syndrome as this one, although slightly better because I like the idea of it, the concept of it more than Arlen just swinging his sword. Dampo just does a bit of a trick, very in character. It's pretty nice, but unfortunately, he goes down here. Sad. He gets bullied in the game and in the tier list. Look, starts upper machine, follows on the ground. Okay, that's pretty sick. Yeah, it's such a creative thing. The weapon, because again, it's another case of small character, big weapon, just like Herda. But this time, instead of jumping up in the air for Hook, she's on the ground first. I love the idea of the wheel dragging her along as she just flies across the ground. And then she just jumps up in the air for the enemy, leaving an explosion behind. We just see her face here. And she just jumps up in the air in total joy. The stars are everywhere as the enemy just explodes. I think it's really cute. I think it's creative. So she's gonna go at the bottom of war pretty good because it's pretty good. I like it. Luca
Where's the applause? Opponent worth their salt.
charges up his fist and goes in. A lot of damage actually, but that's a different story. Like we're not actually counting that in our consideration here. We're just talking about the ultimate animation itself. We see from the back, we see that the boosting, the hand is starting to go. Preparing itself, we get this nice pose here. As the fire just comes out of the bag, he's about to launch. And we really emphasize his speed here by just leaving the camera behind as he goes up and punches the shit out of this. And it just explodes. The camera shake and all the smoke and trail and everything. That's pretty good. Feels like it hits hard. So honestly, for that, I'd put it. Yeah, I'd probably put it kind of up here. Now we're on to Lynx, which is a healer.
For a tough case like yours, we're gonna
She's searching for shit in her bag. It's a big ass medicine pill. Pops it up into the air and it explodes in sunflower and it's healing things. As far as a non-damage ultimate goes, this is pretty nice. I love the idea of her just rummaging through her bag and then pulling out a comically large medicine pill. Throws it up to the air. The explosion itself feels pretty impactful. And everyone gets healed. I see nothing wrong with this. So Lynx kind of goes somewhere. Ooh, okay. I do like it more than Hook. Yeah. right above Asa, because Asa's also a non-damage ultimate. But I feel like it's better than that. Is it better than Luca though? Probably not. Fancy explosions and whatnot. Has an edge. And Jeppy. Also non-damage. Big shield. Hey, that's pretty sick. There's a Mash Kyrielite-esque thing. He stomps down. Got this pose. He comes in. And then we linger on the shot a bit as the power accumulates into his hand. And then he struggles and he finally raises his arm in like like a nice victory pose. And then slams it down. Goes blurry. Big ass crystal. It shines and then explodes. In also shine, but it's like fortified. Gives us shields and whatnot. That is pretty sick. I will say. Right, especially the stomp at the beginning sells him being sure-footed and determined. It's good for defense ultimate to feel grounded. Okay, but how good is it? Since most of these people landed pretty good. Is it better than the orbital laser? I kind of like the orbital laser more. Is it better than Dragon coming in with the bombastic side eye? Maybe not. Is it better than the physical MC's ultimate? Ugh. I'm not sure, honestly. What feels better to me? The shield or the big smack? I feel like the shield feels more impactful when I play the game. Because, I mean, physical MC isn't exactly the best of units. Not bad, I don't think, but it's not the best. It's very simple. But I am bringing gameplay into this, which I really want to do. I'll just leave it like this for now, because I've grown to like Japard's ultimate more over time. He used to be pretty forgettable for me, but now not anymore. I actually really like it. We got his sister, Serval. Spins around, rocks with her guitar, slides it down in electricity, raises her arm, and it just unleashes thunderstorm. Come on, it's cool, guys. Spins around the guitar, and then she slides down the electric strings, and then the lightning trails up to her fingertip, and then boom. Come on, you gotta admit that's pretty sick. Definitely up there. I like honestly, pretty up there. I'd put it above Vault. Yeah, it feels like it does damage. The build up is great. Also, it's just awesome. Natasha, another healer,
Just in time. Just a little something.
spins around,
Think nothing of it.
throws up. Throws up a teddy bear.
Think nothing of it.
Shoots the teddy bear. It explodes into a bunch of different gifts. It falls to the ground and everyone gets healed. See the build up
Just a
again.
little something.
Lots of camera movement, to be honest. Watching this in 2x speed is pretty funny.
Time. Just a little
It is
something.
functionally the same as Lynx's ultimate in a sense where she throws something up
Think nothing of it.
and then it explodes, right? But in this way, it's a little different. I will say the explosion feels a lot more impactful in Natasha's case compared to Lynx's case. But in terms of build up, I think Lynx's rummaging through the bag is way more creative and interesting than Natasha's throwing up the bear. Even though it is fun, I feel like the camera angles move around a little too much. It just kind of makes it a bit disorienting. So what I'm gonna do, because they're so similar, is put them right next to each other. But Natasha is slightly below Lynx. And Clara, not damage ultimate. This is just sick. Come on, I I don't think anyone can deny. Here, she's scared, right? And then she's literally got tears in her eyes, and she cries out for help. And then boom. Right behind her, we see this mad lad come in, taking up so much of the screen. His eye shining as this big, imposing figure comes in and is like, okay, who the fuck hurt her? This is just sick. Clara's is pretty up there, I will say. It's cool. It's so cool. It doesn't do a lot of. It doesn't do damage at all. But my god, it feels impactful still. Honestly, I'd put it right next to Himiko. I really like the idea of Svara coming and saving her. Honestly, Svara carries most of that. I'm gonna admit, Svara kind of carries most of that, of how cool it is. Otherwise, if not the bombastic side, I would have taken it. But no, 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 no. Svarog. Got Bronya, also another non-damage ultimate, but pretty good buff.
To guard
The ghost troops everywhere.
crush them.
Got a nice backdrop and everything. I like that. I really like that. Got the shine, gives us nice lines here. Got a really nice pose. Right, everyone getting the buff feels pretty alive. There, she's a commander, she's a leader, she steps down, shines up the light, she's in the center of the screen. And then she directs the staff at the enemy, and everyone gets a buff. I like this. Bronya is easily up there, but where? In terms of non-damage ultimates, is it better than Luca? I'd say definitely better than the healers. But is it as good as a damage ultimate? Because I know the impact of the buff, so it's hard for me to escape how good it feels to get it, you know, from the ultimate. Yeah, I'll put it right below Fire MC. Fire MC is still pretty good. I like using Fire MC, and I see it a lot. And I just really like the feel of it. The sound effects, especially come to play, it feels really nice. Luca's ultimate just doesn't hit that hard at the end, considering you know the damage output. I'm contradicting myself already. I'm maybe biased here.
Enemy data secure.
Pela,
Net markers activated. Time for good old counterattack.
missiles surround them. Yeah, it's
Enemy
solid.
data secured. Net markers activated.
Right, the missiles fly up, zooms in on her face, the reflection in her glasses. Target locked, comes in, circles them, and then just fires a blast. It doesn't feel like it annihilates them, but I don't think it's supposed to annihilate them. At least I know in the game it's not supposed to. It's just supposed to debuff them. Yeah, I mean, considering that it is a debuffing blast while also doing some damage, yeah, that felt pretty good. It's like a sonic boom. Comes in, boom, suppresses them. Pela is, I'll put her at the bottom. No, I like it more than Hook, actually. The impact feels a lot better. Hook jumping up into the air doesn't feel that good as something coming down. Usually ultimates that involve something going upwards doesn't feel as good as an impact that just slams into the ground. I've got Zila.
From your chains. Disappear among the sea of butterflies.
Impact frames, foreshortening, the heartbeats, her clones everywhere, the lines. Lots of things going on.
From your chains.
It feels good. She was also the first limited character, so they really went all out in terms of like how flashy it is, and it really did pay off. So it is pretty good. I really like it. Definitely like it more than Welt. I like it more than Serval. I like it more than Physical. I like it more than Japard. I do like the sound effects better than the Danhung, to be honest. Is it better than Svarog? It has better impact than that. Is it better than Orbital Laser? Oh, okay, this is tough. I'd say Orbital Laser is a lot more grander, right? Zilla feels very potent, but it is one person still doing all this damage. While Himiko's is literally an orbital laser. It targets everyone on the field. It feels more like a nuke. Therefore, it's just, okay, it's just better. I've got Topaz and Numbi. Another non-damage ultimate. He's staring at some analytics. Gets an idea. Gets Numbi to go up and stonks increases. It stonks. I love the idea of it being like a game coming on and collecting coins because she's a debt collector. And then the stonks thing at the end. Because she is buffing Numby. Technically at the end of it, I'm pretty sure she buffs Numby. I don't have her, so I'm not sure. And it gets stronger. Or he gets stronger. I don't know what the pronouns are. But in terms of non-damage ultimates, the buff affects only one person. Well, in this case, Numby. It doesn't feel all too impactful until you see the numbers that Numby can pull off after the ultimate. But in terms of the ultimate itself, it has a pretty nice setup, but I think it does kind of fall a little flat towards the end purely because you can't see the effects of the buff immediately. And you couldn't for like Bronya or any other buffer like Asta or whatever. Um but I don't know. I don't know how to put it into words. Does anyone else get that feeling where it's hard for me to visualize how this buff will buff Numby and how this will benefit my team rather than something like Bronya's where it's visibly buffing the entire team with a very strong pose and everything. While this one feels like it's isolated from everything else. Despite having a very cool presentation, it feels a bit isolated. It only buffs Numby, and so it doesn't feel as impactful, even though the build up is pretty nice. So I'm gonna be a bit more stricter, a bit more strict. Sorry, English is hard. I'm gonna put her at the top of is okay. I like it, but I feel like it could be slightly tweaked if I could nitpick. That's Sushang.
Shape of Taishu! Rise, Phoenix!
Great foreshortening, but that summons a Phoenix chicken instead. Just slams on them. Now this is funny. I will say this is definitely funny, but I feel like it is a waste. It's a waste to have this amazing shot right here. Insane foreshortening. And then you feel the build up, and then just blob chicken comes down. And then it's the one that gets mad. It's just waddling, jumps up into the air, and just slams down. This is funny. But Sushang doesn't get to use that sword at all, and I feel like the misleading, while is funny, does diminish the ultimate feel for me. Yeah, so in this case, had she so in order to pull off comedy, they did sacrifice what could have been a cool ult. So I do kind of have some issues with it. So I'm gonna put her at the back here. Is it the worst one we've seen? No, I think Arlan's still the worst. But the chicken doesn't feel that good to me. I'm just, you know what? Just to spite the chicken, I'll put it at the back. Jinchue.
Look at the draw.
Ah, you simulated universe beast.
Please, please.
Get it? She's a gambling addict. I love that idea. Absolutely the idea of her just pulling a mysterious tile and her just wishing it's the gacha one.
Please,
Then once she gets it,
please.
and they got the sparkle in her eyes, she lights up. The tile actually lights up. She does a bit of a twirl, and then that's such a good pose.
Looks like
Right, she's right in the center here. You can feel the anticipation that she's about to slam down on the board. Boom, and it slams down on the board. Nice, satisfying sound, and it's actually, oh my god, plot twist! It's the enemies, not the board. Well, it's one and the same in this case. Obviously, this isn't really part of her ultimate, but still, pretty cute. So honestly, I like Jinchue. It's pretty creative. It feels good and it's pretty creative. So she honestly is up there. No, yeah, this is where she's at.
by the will of
Anya.
the 10 lords. The 10 lords decree.
Okay, she's painting.
Hereby
Using the brush.
ordained.
And she's got this lug. It's a non-damage ultimate. I don't remember what it does. But I think these are the writings that she made on like some walls or like a scroll or whatever. I'm not really sure. And it buffs a character. And it's got this nice effects on it, which make, even though it's just one character for the buff, it feels impactful because this looks so imposing. And the actual build up itself is also pretty nice. This swipe, right? The way that they draw the swipe here with the colors is really nice.
Lord's decree.
She says brushing, and then she swipes it to the side. The master stroke.
Hereby.
And I absolutely love the way that the eyes are glowing in this instance and this
Ordained.
angle as she's about like it's like the POV of the paper and the or the scroll, and she's about to do the master stroke, and she pulls it up. Feels pretty damn good. So honestly, Hanya goes up. Hanya goes up. Is she better than Hook? I'd say so. Better than Pela. I think in terms of aesthetics, she is pretty menacing. I like that more than whatever Pela's got. I like it more than Herda and Asta and any of the healers. And Luca. Okay, just above Branya, I think. Yeah. Now Shui
Order of the Ten Lords. Execute the Marstruck.
twirls it and combines, and okay. I do like the beginning.
Execute the Marstruck.
Right, twirls and she combines it right in front of her face, which is a pretty nice
Execute the
it's a good a pose to linger on.
Marstruck.
And then she pulls the weapon back. She's about to throw it. This is nice. And then we get a bit of a slow-mo close up. And we see her back view as she's throwing this, the chains coming in, and she slowly builds it up, and then it goes pretty fast. This is a nice pose. You see the impact from afar. Alright, okay, the impact hasn't happened yet. We see this mask binding the enemy at the end, and we see impact. And after a delay, boom, impact frame explosion. And with this nice cone-shaped trail at the end to really feel the impact of it. With that bit of screen shake. I think it's nice. I think one thing I would nitpick is the actual throwing doesn't feel too impactful. I know that they're doing a slow-mo to build it up, but I feel like the choice of camera panning here, whether it's the choice of camera panning or the way that they executed the camera panning, just didn't really feel as intense as I would like it to be. So for that, she doesn't get full scores, but she easily lands herself at the top of is okay. We've got Gunaifen now.
It's never too early.
I was gonna say sex alarm, I'm sorry. The gog, the oh my god, what do you call these? The detings, I think it was. Right? I think this is very creative. She comes in, calls all the detings, they rush in. They light a bomb, light a firework, and it just explodes. Green Ivan's just watching the explosion, and one of the detings fall on the screen. It's amazing. This is one of the better ones. Honestly, I'd put it... Yeah, I'd put it pretty up here, right next to Himiko. Honestly, you know what? I like Green Ivan more than Himiko. I'm gonna put her up here. Fuck you, Himiko. You're dethroned. You know what? Yeah, she deserves it. Green Ivan deserves it. It's such a cool and creative ultimate. It goes up there with Dr. Asia's Falling Pillar. Yukon! He had such a good story quest. Just jumping up in the air, and the arrow comes in. It's nice, but I've always had some problems with this.
The wind is rising.
So, okay.
Cloud kites.
Let's watch. Okay.
Formation.
This is such a strange angle switch because it's so sudden that I don't even register that we were at the face and now we're at the back now, the legs. I don't even know what this is. Right? And then suddenly she's like floating now in the air. And then the weird like momentum / inertia breaking pose into a shooting down arrow. It's a bit strange. I do like the split arrow that converges. That part is pretty good. But I think everything else feels a little weird and lackluster. So Yukong's unfortunately going to be another victim of could be better, honestly. I'll take the chicken over this, to be honest. Yun,
Thousand wonders to
favorite
raise your
path of
spirit.
preservation character.
Good omens.
It does twirl, the music comes in. This, see, when it comes to damage ultimates, it feels good when they slam into the ground rather than going up. But for buffs, it feels really good when the direction is going up and then we see the buffs come in a flashy way and they all come in like that. It feels like you're on the upwards trend. It just feels like you are getting a significant buff in that sense. So I really like it. Especially the twirl that she does. It's pretty fancy. So she's on the higher tier of alts. I like her twirling a bit more than Japard's steadiness in his ultimate. Not to say that he's worse, but I just prefer the flowiness of Ting Yun's ult rather than the rock steadiness of Japard's. Bye Liu.
Time to show you
Plucks up in the bottle.
what's in your prescription.
Holy shit. I was gonna describe something, but I was just at a loss for words. It's in the water? Like she summons water? Like water is surrounding her before she unplugs this. Unplugs it. Okay, she flies up into the air in a spiral. That's a nice pattern. Converges in the center. Screen wipes, and we go into fish mode. We see the gourd floating in here. She grabs it from the bag, and then we see her drop back on the ground after floating up in the air, and she just does whatever pose that is and blesses everyone. Or does she pop it open right now? I'm not quite sure. But it's pretty cool. For a healing ultimate, it is pretty flashy. So by virtue of it being very identical to healing ults, where something happens in the air for some reason, yeah, but Violet's a little different because she's not shooting something out of the air. She was in the air and then she comes down. But I feel like some of that flashiness, unfortunately, does come at the cost of impact, because you can be flashy but less impactful. I'm gonna put her between this. Natasha's ending of her healing, all the toys dropping to the ground, feels pretty impactful, but everything else doesn't. Link's build up is pretty good, but the ending explosion isn't as good. Bailu, on the other hand, is a bit of both. There's things to love about the flashy build up, and there's also things to love about the way that it ends in a pretty flashy way too, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it's too intense or it's too impactful, even though it was pretty flashy. I've got Lord Cha,
Is not the end.
another healing ultimate. Psych? No, it's not actually. You may be a healer. Well, he actually does damage with his ultimate, which is one of the reasons why he's a Birkin. But let's see this again, shall we? He's always wielding a coffin. Right here. Whoa, why are you so close to me? Get your face out of here. But we can see he shields himself with the coffin. And then we zoom out as we see these tendrils come out from the coffin. And it strikes people from the bottom here, this intense green effect surrounding them. And then it converges up in the air. And then this big fucking thing. Is this the coffin, but in like spectral form or something? I'm not sure what this is. Oh, it just comes down. It's got this nice effect and everything. So honestly, pretty good. I like it. But since it's now classified as a damage ultimate, I'm now comparing it with other damage ultimates. And because I'm comparing it with other damage ultimates, he has to square up against everyone who has one. And it doesn't quite feel as good. I will say, Better than Hook, because again, I don't think the ending of Hook's ultimate felt that good. It's fine, but it's not. I don't feel it's that good. So actually, in that case, let's just bring her down because I keep using Hook's ultimate as a benchmark. She might as well be in the middle. Yenching.
It's over. Swords descend.
Okay, hold on. Let's let it play out. Yeah, this is just great.
Practice is over. Swords descend.
Right? He grabs the swords and they start swirling around him. We get the slight Dutch angle. Already pretty good build up. You got a great pose. You got a good line of action. It's going in a circle around him, and then we start seeing it slowly, well, rather quickly, start to leave the circle, and then we sort of screen wipe with a bit of a directional look to it because the arrow is going somewhere. The actual screen wipe is a little bit like that. It's going in this direction still. And then we zoom out and reveal it's an arrow. Right? It's a good conservation of momentum. And he's out here surfing the swords, which is fucking awesome. Right? He's twirling and jumping all over the place. It's smooth. The swords start coming in, swing, 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 and he comes in like the wind. Boom. He looks so proud of himself. It's flashy. It feels great. It conserves the momentum of the character. This one's easily up there. Honestly, I'm gonna put this at holy shit. Yenching's got one of my favorite ultimates. Jing Yuan.
Time for the master stroke.
Master Stroke.
Heed my word.
This is just extra. Yeah, so I like the idea that we start at his eye, we zoom out, and he's just looking down on you like you're some sort of insect. And then we reveal, oh, he's kind of floating and there's a thing behind him. Then we realize this is a gigantic cloud thing. We are literally in the clouds. Are these ships? I'm not sure. No, these are clouds. This is absolutely gigantic compared to his size. And then we cut back to him. And then we see the swing come in with the impact frame. This is a nice carve. It hits all the enemies. It's nice. It's pretty nice. He's definitely in the upper echelon as well. Better than Serval. Better than Physical. Better than Japar. Better than Ting Yun. Better than Jinchue. I honestly like it more than the Dragon. I'll say better than Svarog. Better than Sealer. But I probably prefer Himiko better because of the style. Jing Yuan is devastating and epic. Himiko is just, I am drinking tea while an orbital laser strikes down. I feel like I like that kind of sort of humor more rather than epicness, even though the epic stuff is pretty epic. Fine. Fine, I'll put him up there. I'll put him up there.
They're lost.
Now we're on to Fushuan.
Yet stratagems, constellations are human creations.
He's supposed to be a master strategist. And this kind of encapsulates that. Right? She comes in, or rather, she doesn't come in yet. All the enemies end up on this plane. Right? So already someone else is in control. And you can see it in the little thing that she has. Right? She foresaw it coming or whatever. She grabs it in her hand, twirls it around, and she's just floating in this matrix. Right? She looks incredibly powerful. She looks like she has control of over all of these spheres. She comes in. This is such a powerful pose, right? This is so imposing. She looks like she's about to unleash a devastating attack. And it explodes in a ring. And we zoom into the little mark on her head. Looks like a keyhole. Opens her eyes. And the eye in here also opens right behind the enemies. And it splits the ground. And then it just ends in an explosion. It's so good. Her ultimates is honestly one of the ultimates that I just can't get enough of. It beats out Jing Yuan. no matter how many times I use it because she's in my party all the time, she's just I just never get tired of it. It's such a very pretty ultimate to look at. Doesn't help my favorite colors involve purple and pink and whatnot, so the aesthetics are really my vibe.
All
We've got
will be
Jing Liao,
revealed.
jumps up to the air,
In the
blindfold is gone, rains down crescents, and the ground splits. Honestly, the build up to this is amazing.
All will be revealed.
Because she normally wears a blindfold, we don't actually get to see her eyes here, right? But we see her from the back. She jumps up to the air. She's so fast that the camera has to follow. She does a fucking somersault in the air. Her figure is paired up against the moon, and the slow reveal, the zoom in that, oh no, she finally revealed her eyes. You never let the anime characters who never reveal their eyes reveal their eyes. Gojo Satoru. She comes down. She has this look on her face, and then murder face comes on. The light just gone from her eyes. She's about to fucking murder you and cut you up into different pieces. I'm gonna get demonetized. I'm not even monetized. Why am I saying that? And we just see from afar, she's like an eclipse in the air. Literally, there is an eclipse right here. Rain. It's so fast. It hits the ground. There's so many of it. Ah, explosion. The ground fucking splits. It's great. It's so flashy, but it also feels so powerful. Also quite in the upper echelon. So yeah, yeah, I'll put it up here more than Fushuen, even though realistically they're a bit tied. But I think the sound effects for Jing Liang sound a lot better. This is just barely edges out over that. Oh, is it fair for me to put these here? I'm gonna put Jing Liang and Fushuen up here. I think they deserve it. These are ultimates that I just can. I'm not tired to see, and they're just so cool. Yeah, I think this is fair. Hua Hua. Right, Mr. Tail walking around. He finally catches him, and he turns into his full form. Now, how do I feel about this? This doesn't feel so impactful. It gives quite a big buff to your team with energy regen and attack, but the yeah, because the seal comes off, and so he's free now, right? So you know he's about to do something huge, and she's trying to catch him. Finally catches him, but it's too late, and he comes out, right? But there's no. I feel like if he came into the picture in this curve, it would feel a lot better because otherwise it's just a screen wipe. So I feel like there could be more that went into this, but otherwise it's pretty good. So following that logic, yeah, yeah, I'll put her at the top here. Just barely missed pretty good. We're off to Silver Wolf, one of my favorite characters. Just literally playing a video game, getting a high score. Max score. That build up is amazing, right? Because we see her playing the game. Right, the enemy's just getting clobbered. Right, and then we see she's coming in for the master stroke, slams it. This is such a good good line of action, just going down on the enemy, and it just gets more and more intense as the numbers start raking up. Hits the highest number, it fucking bulges out. It becomes red or shade of red. Boom, explodes into a star. You got the game sound effect and everything. That's a very solid ultimate. The Silver Wolf honestly belongs somewhere in the middle here. And somewhere in the middle is pretty good. Better than Serval? Is it? Okay, my bias over Silver Wolf would do that. Yes. Right below Physical MC. And we've got Blade.
Unreachable for me. Savor it in my place.
This is just strong. This is just strong. I don't know what to say about it.
That paradise may be unreachable for me.
right? We start off with a pretty strong bold pose here. He's right in the center. It's split,
Savor it in my place.
and then we zoom in. We see instead of seeing the sharp end of the blade, we see the flat end now, and we see him open his eyes, which is a pretty good build up payoff. It fucking breaks because it's shattered, and then as we see, well, we don't get to see the results of why what happens to this blade once it becomes shattered immediately. We see this petal or leaf just fall to the ground slowly, hits the water. We realize that's a reflection. As we turn it upside down, we realize, oh shit, he's coming. Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare comes in and fucking splits the earth with multiple blades just spewing out everywhere. There's great build up. There's a nice internal build up payoff within the ult before it builds up and then payoffs. Yeah, it feels strong. Honestly, there's so many that are just really good and hard hitting. They're very satisfying. That's why I play this game so much. Better than Silver. Yeah, better than Silver Wolf. Better than Physical MC. I think. Yeah, right below. And by below Naya. I think this is fine.
Good times.
Kafka, one of the first ultimates we get to see.
Say bye.
This shoots around in the circle. The bullet casings drop. Just boom. And everyone just fucking starts taking DOT and starts exploding. It's so fucking cool.
Time to say
Kafka is so
bye.
fucking cool. A lot of people simp for her, but I don't simp for her. I just think she's badass. When she comes in, I love the small pause we get. The moment of reprieve is that the right word? But moment to breathe as the bullet casings fall down. And we have the slight delay. Boom! We zoom out. Everyone caught in the spiderweb starts taking a million fucking hits, and then it explodes the impact frames. It's amazing. Definitely my favorite ultimate. I'm not biased. I'm incredibly biased. I love Kafka so much. I can't believe I couldn't get her when she was running, and I couldn't get her during her rerun. I fucking hate this game so much. And I believe this is the last one, or Genti. Got this beautiful scene here. He looks so like he looks like he's like shaded differently here. You can take a closer look. Got this beautiful scenery. This doesn't really happen. I think something similar to this is Bronya's Shadow Soldiers and whatnot, the Fragmentum Soldiers. Something similar to that. You see this beautiful sort of architecture here. It looks marble, and then the vines going up from it. He's just standing there, right? This is a beautiful scene, and then we continue down the path, and we see him with this nice, beautiful arc. He's under a spotlight. He continues the momentum and he sweeps this beautiful explosion of petals and roses and glamour and glitter everywhere. You see this backdrop right in front of the enemies or behind the enemies, and they all take incredible damage.
Universe. Once more.
Take a look at that again.
I will protect all beauty in the universe.
Feels good. The right amount of delaying the action, slowing down a bit, but also the fast whip as they take damage. It's beautiful, just like the Knights of Beauty. And this is the charged version, I assume.
All beauty in the universe.
Yes, because he's the first character in the game who can have a charged ultimate. This is beautiful. The sounds are different. The bell toll feels heavier. Comes in here. Basically the same thing, but it hits twice now. In a sense where after he swings, he turns around. The slash just cut through the rose, and right when the rose explodes, he puts down. He swipes down his spear. And the rose explodes in a bunch of damage, and the petals start flying everywhere. It's incredible. So for the last character to be rated on this list, Argenti, honestly, a pretty damn good ultimate. Now, let's do a bit of cleaning up, and we're just gonna call it, that's good. Okay, this is different from whoa pretty good, because whoa pretty good is prettier gooder than that's just good. So what we're gonna do is Luca's gonna down here, Bailu, Tasha, this, that, this, that. Oh, that actually linked also here. Yeah, okay, we'll put Branya, we'll put Hanya. These ones I like, but not as much as Fire MC and above, which are pretty up there. That's good. Is just honestly pretty fucking solid, right? They're just slightly, ever so slightly below Well Pretty Good. And then we have Is Okay, where I like them, but I can nitpick, right? I have some nitpicks. And it could be better are the ones where I feel like I like the idea behind it, but the execution just isn't quite there. And thankfully, so far in versions 1.0 through 1.6, there are none that I just go, nah, bro. No, they're all actually pretty decent. If you enjoyed this video, then please make sure to leave a like, and I would like to know. Comment down below what your favorite ultimates are and probably why. I want to know what your thought process is behind those. I'd love to have a discussion in the comments. Now, are you excited for 2.0? Because I know I am. I'm gonna be uploading my playthrough of the new quest for Penacony at some point. I don't know when, but very soon, because I don't want to get spoiled. I want to play it soon. So yeah, keep a lookout on that. If you like Star Rail content on here, I will be uploading a lot more than that. So stay tuned. Bye bye.